Howdy friends, welcome back to Type 9 Studio. My name is Abby. This is where I help you start and grow your Etsy shop into a small business. I've been a full-time seller on Etsy for over a year and a half. Today's video is going to be pretty exciting. I am doing my first shop review. My shop reviews are open officially on my Ko-Fi page. I'll have the link in the description and in the pinned comment. But I wanted to post some on YouTube as well because even if you didn't purchase a shop review, you could learn from these. And if you're thinking about purchasing one, you can see what all is included when I do these videos. So here's what my Ko-Fi page looks like and where you can get to the reviews. So on the left here, I'm not sure how this looks on mobile. I think if you click the shop tab, it'll bring you there. But there are a few different options for the shop reviews. They just depend on how in-depth they are. On all of the reviews, I'm going to do like an overview of your shop and just see like suggestions that I have for you, like improvements to make. And this option A is a basic overview of like your logo and branding, your info and about sections, your SEO, photos, and then what to prioritize first to maximize your views and sales. And then I will rewrite one listing at random. You can also purchase additional listing rewrites like as a separate listing on my Ko-Fi shop. Option B is a little bit more in-depth, so I'm going to go over like detailed SEO and photo things and also help you increase your conversion rate. So if you don't have any sales yet, this option B is probably not for you. You might just want to go with A or go all the way up to C. And then B includes one listing rewrite also. And option C is the same stuff that is in option B, but I will also do new listing suggestions, and I will go over your social media if you provide your social media links for me. And C also includes 3 total SEO listing rewrites. And for all of them, when you order it, you will be redirected to a Google form. That's where I will ask for your information, like your shop link and your name and your like what you plan, what your experience is with Etsy, like if you're brand new or if you've just been sitting and struggling for a while. And option B and C, I ask for your like conversion rate. Right now, you can upload a screenshot or you can just type in what the conversion rate is for like this month and like the past year. So I don't ever need your like login information. I would never do that. I just need like basic stuff about you so I can personalize your review a little bit more. And I'll put all this together in a PDF and then email that to you. Some may be posted on YouTube. I ask your permission like explicitly if you would be okay with me posting it on YouTube. Some people are not, that's why I made it optional. So if you don't want me to post it on YouTube because you don't want like to be blasted or whatever, I'm not going to be mean, I promise, but if you're not comfortable with that, you can click no. If you do want to share and like let other people learn from it, you can do that. Also on Ko-Fi, if you make a purchase of over $10, which is pretty much anything, you can get access to my like members only content on Ko-Fi for a year. With any of the stuff that I put in the review, you can copy and paste my suggestions, but I would highly recommend to like put it in your own words, your own voice. So like if I may have like phrases and things that I use that you may not, so I would do that so your like messaging and everything is consistent. So let's go to the shop we're reviewing today. So this is Shand Creations. I asked her how to say that because I wasn't sure. I think it's Shand Creations because my brain was wanting to say Shandy. I think it's Shand. So I took a look at her shop first thing and I was like, this is amazing. There is a lot of good things going. It looks like she's taken a lot of my tips or like tips from other people, I guess, because there are just some things in here that I've noticed that are like all of the ingredients for an amazing shop, and it's just not quite there. And the shop was created this year, and with 97 sales already, that's pretty good, but she did tell me that most of those were from social media. So right away, the first thing I see, this banner looks really nice. It definitely shows off a lot of the products, which is good. And there's a few things in this section here. I don't know what you call this section, but just the about the shop with the logo and the name and everything. So the logo, I like the gold accent. I think it kind of fits because a lot of the items have like a gold accent or gold personalization on them, so it fits. But I can't read this Shand Creations there, so I would maybe make that bigger. If you have any text in your logo, you want it to be readable, so I would make that bigger or just get rid of it and then have this SC a bit bigger. And then this is your shop title. This is going to get cut off. It's a bit too long for what you want, so this shows when you search Google, and also at the top, I don't know if this thing is recording all the way up here, but when you click on your shop, that will show there, and that's kind of too long, so I would condense that a bit. I would maybe put like personalized wood and resin gifts or something like that instead of all of that, because you want it to be brief and concise, because when you search on Google, it's going to say custom arts, crafts, and gift mainly made of wood and resin by Shan Creations. So the announcement section, I would use that to like announce products or announce like your current processing times. And something I pointed out, I know I feel so like I'm going to be just roasting, but I swear that's not what I'm doing. I'm trying to help. So in your announcement and your shop story, all of the things like that, you want to make that about what you're doing for the customer, not what they're doing for you, because your shop exists for the customer. If you're saying like, thanks for shopping with me, or like, thanks for even looking, that stuff like that can be a bit like desperate, and it's making it about you and not the customer. So you want to focus on your, like what you're giving to them. So like their shop is about gifts, so maybe like find the perfect gift here, or something like that, that's about the customer and not about yourself. And that's good that you can put like welcome people to message you, because sometimes people forget that they can message you on Etsy. So let's skip the listings and then go all the way down to the about. So when I say the about me section, this is what I'm talking about. This is like your shop story. So you can put a headline here, and like I was saying, you want to make sure that you're making it about, like, she has some good things in there about everything is handmade and all that stuff. I would put like the story. This is where you would put the story of your shop, kind of how it got started, or if you have some kind of interesting anecdote that you could put in there about your shop opening. But this section here is more about your shop itself. Like, this is where you talk about yourself, but also through the lens of what you're doing for the customer. And then any like custom requests or like other information would be in your announcement. And she's got her social media link there, which is good. I don't see any FAQs here, which would be helpful, I think. I don't think too many people read those, to be honest, but they may, so I would fill them out anyways. And that's good. There's a return policy, request cancellation within 1 hour. And by the way, did I say at the beginning of this, I'm doing like option C's review for this one. I'm kind of confused because there's 2 of this one. She might be working on it, because I just did that. I sent the review to her recently, so maybe she's working on it right now. But I did a rewrite. I think this is the one that I did a rewrite of, I'm pretty sure. Yes. Yeah. So this is the one I did a rewrite for, and we'll see. So hopefully so to be careful of that, because you don't want to have 2 of the same listing. Etsy doesn't like that. But in some situations, if you had the listing for a long time and it's not doing anything, and you keep like trying to do the SEO, it's best like at some point, maybe after several months, like a year, it's best to like just delete it and like start over, because at that point your quality score is just in the garbage. So maybe that's the case. Hopefully the new one does better. So looking at the photos, all of the photos are fantastic. Like, these are all very well lit. I can tell exactly what the product is. So you want to make sure you're using all 10 photos. Like for some of these, this one it's clear that it is photoshopped to this background. That one's photoshopped as well. I would take photos on like a real tree to see what it looks like. In some kinds of products, you're going to have to do that, like a mock-up situation, but if you can like possibly take a photo of it like being used, or like on an actual tree if it's an ornament, then I would do that. But I think this is good enough to like show what it looks like, you know. It's kind of hard with like personalized things, because you don't want to make just a bunch of random things with different names on them. So like if you do this kind of thing where you have personalized things with people's names or initials or something, as you get orders, you'll want to like hijack a few of your orders and use those for photos. So that way you don't have to make a bunch of like and waste the product and your time to make like sample ones. Let's go to this cheese board. That's probably pretty popular for the holidays. So looks like there's about 10 photos at least of that one. And that's good. They've got a font choice photo. And there's good, that's an actual photo of it with cheese and stuff on it, so you can see how big it is. And there's a video. There was a video of the last one too, I didn't look at it. That's nice. You can see the detail of the resin. That looks really cool. I like those. Let's open a couple more listings and look at them and see. It looks like she did make some of the updates on the SEO of this one, but I'm just kind of looking at the photos for now. So this is a really nice picture to see what they look like, and then there's some on a stocking. But I say what these are personalized stocking tags. That's a genius idea. And there's a photo of the different options, which is great, and the different font choices. And this shows that there is an option to add the beads, which is good. These are good photos for this listing. What's the video? And there's the paw print that you can add to it. So overall, I think the photos are mostly good. I would just be careful of like photoshopping. Your photos are the only opportunity for your customer to like experience the product, because they can't go to a store and look at it, touch it, and the photos need to like show all the angles and every possible thing that you can do with the listing. And people want to see what it looks like on something and next to something that's a common size, because you can say all day that this thing is like 4 inches by 4 inches or whatever. People don't understand that. They need to see it, like visualize it next to something else. And then the listing count. So it's a common suggestion for Etsy shops to have at least 100 items. And she has done that, definitely. And she was telling me that she was adding like 1 a day. Because the more items you have, the more likely you're going to show up in search. Just out of probability, because like the more room you take up, the more likely somebody is to see your product. I talked about this at the end of my last video where I said like one of my products in my shop, I noticed that when I was searching to see what page I was on of the search results, like one of my competitors had a lot of listings in the same search term, and that was very apparent when like they went on vacation mode or something, and then all of a sudden my products were at the front page because theirs were all gone. But then when they came back, they had so many listings for that search term that mine just kind of got booted out. So if you have a lot of like similar items, that's going to help a lot too. And like different options for people as well, because you may have like a handful of items in your shop that do pretty well, but then the rest are just kind of like accessory type things. Like somebody will come in for your popular listings that show up, first in search, and then they'll come to your shop and see that you have other things and add those on. And then also the sections. So these are all labeled pretty well. There are a lot of sections here though. I would maybe condense them, but some of them like wouldn't go together. So because you want to have like a decent split of items in each one, but that's not really a necessity, but it just kind of looks better, because if somebody clicks on this one, like the pets category, for example, and there's only those 2 listings, you want to have more of each kind. So maybe you kind of like evenly space them. And then the next thing is the titles. So let's hover over these and see. Looks like their titles are long, which is good. And so all these are pretty long. They don't have any like super short, because the more stuff you can fit in there, the better. You don't want a bunch of like nonsense, but you also don't want like just a few words, because then that's not really, doesn't give the search much to go off of to find your stuff if it's really, really short. But so you see how this, or any of the listings really, they get cut off after so often. You just want to make sure that your most important keyword is in the front before it gets cut off. Then you can put more in the rest of it. So let's take these and look at the tags, which I think this one should be fixed, because does it not show the... Etsy used to show down here all of the tags, but that's not what is happening. So I'm going to have to go to eRank. Okay, here it is. Let's find that listing. So I say you don't need eRank, but it's a lot faster for this, because I can just look at all their tags, but you don't really need it if you're making your own. It's just faster for me to do reviews now. And I have the Pro version, so you may not be able to do this. I'm not sure what features are on the Pro version and which are not. So it looks like she did update the tags based on what I gave her in the listing rewrite. The only thing, this Christmas got cut off. I would have separated those. I didn't realize that was too separate. Like it was too long. So if you have personalized Christmas, you would have to do that in separate tags, which is kind of annoying, because then you lose a tag when you have to use two for the same thing. So obviously since I did those tags, I think they're good, but you know, let's look at a different one. With the resin cheese board. So I don't think I reviewed that one. So ocean board, cutting board, cheese board, resin chopping board, ocean cutting board. For this one, I would use charcuterie because that's a pretty like common thing now. But this I would not call it coasters, because if somebody is searching coasters and this comes up, they're not going to buy it because that's not a coaster and that's not what they're searching for, so just be careful of that. And it's personalized and like laser engravable. So I would put that somewhere in the tags as well, like custom cutting board or personalized cutting board. And this one down here, just because I can see it right off the bat, you don't want to put like one word. Which keychain is, like, I did one of the SEO rewrites for her shop, was one of the keyring, I don't remember which one it was, but it was kind of hard to come up with a bunch of tags for that. But you just want to stay away from generally using like one word keywords unless it's one of those where you have to split it up because it's too many characters. But like this one was really hard, so there's only so many ways you can say keychain or key holder or something. And then the description. So what listing is this? These, I think this is the one that I love this picture of this cat from their customer. That's cute. So for your description, at least the first line will show up on Google search. It's called the meta description. So if somebody happens to Google search your product or Google search about a similar thing and then your product comes up, this is what will show like underneath of the picture. Or I think on some websites, because Etsy does the off-site ads, I believe this may show on like Facebook, Instagram, like the first little bit of the description. So you want that to be like enticing and get people to want to buy it. So you don't want to be stuffing your keywords in that first little bit, but she didn't really do that. It's just, in general, you don't want to like stuff a bunch of keywords there because it's going to be confusing to people who are looking at it, and it's not going to be like enticing for them to look at the item. I like this, that she included practical gift. That's good. Oh, duh. Okay, I redact what I said about the coaster thing because there are coasters in this listing. Sorry. I did not pay attention. And I did not see them in the photo either, so that's my bad. Because I didn't even notice that until I clicked on this. I guess I didn't look at the photos very closely. So there is the option for the coasters and the board. But if we're looking at that, there is an option for like a small and large one, but there's not a photo showing the difference. So I would definitely have a photo with them side by side, showing like this one's big and this one's small. So she tells about the product, can be made in any color, bamboo wood. So for the description, there's a lot of good information in there, but I would organize it a little bit more. So I would put like this little blurb about how it's a, you know, trendy chic practical gift. And then I think the next thing I would put is a like designed to serve snacks, cheese, fruit, bread, drinks. Or this whole section here really, why is it doing that? Like this section here I would put a little bit higher up, and then have a section that's like about the product. This is a 3D wave effect is achieved by adding multiple layers of resin. The resin can be any color you like. Then I would do like a section that says personalization, and then it have this information about how to do that. And then I would put like a how to order section in there, so that's just easy, like step 1, 2, 3, how they place their order. And then care instructions is where I would put put a towel on the table to avoid scratching. And this is good too. I always put this on my listings. It says like everything is handmade, so things will be different. And then this is good as well to have links back to your shop, so the shop section that this came from and your overall store. Because some people don't know, like, so pretend you're a customer right now and you're scrolling through this, reading all this stuff. If I decide that I don't want this product, or I want to go to your shop, see if you have anything else, well, I'm all the way down here. Like, it's just easier for them to get, like, if they read through all the description and then they're like, click here for more. There you go. You don't have to scroll all the way back up or like try to find where the shop page is, because if you get here from the search, then if you click the back button, that could like refresh the search, or it could just be lost. They can forget what they're looking at, may not go back to your shop, may get distracted by something else. So you want to keep them on your shop and looking at your listings as long as possible. Okay, and the shipping, I did notice this would be a concern for people in the States because of the long delivery time, but that is not her fault because of the like COVID delays and all that stuff. Like it would take a month to arrive. Most people would be like, no. And some people don't even look at this and they want it in like 2 days. So just, that's kind of a, like, can't really do anything about it. Because the processing time looks like it's 3 to 5 days. Or 3 to 7 days. Which would be accurate for something like this. It's personalized and the resin takes time to cure. If you do personalized things, like especially now leading up to the holidays, if you have things like this or you know what's going to be like your best seller, I would make as much of it ahead as you can. That way you can get your processing times lower because people are going to want that around Christmas. And this year, even if you're not just ignoring Etsy, like if you're shopping for Christmas this year, get stuff early because of so many like freight and what's that called? Supply chain disruptions right now. It's just wild. And other stuff with SEO, so I don't know, like this E-rank thing tells me when a listing was modified, but I don't know how accurate that is. So I was kind of looking and I was like, yeah, it looks like she's updating things pretty often, but again, I don't know. Because I don't know if this was like, if somebody favorited it, like right here, if that counts as a modification, I'm not sure. So anyways, be careful of trying to modify things too frequently because it's going to like work against you, because as you're trying to build quality score for your listing, if you keep changing the tags and the SEO and things, it could make it take longer to like gather up some speed. So the conversion rate is the next thing that I would look at. Oops, opening stuff here. So a lot of the conversion rate is going to be whether the item is what the customer is looking for and how easy it is for them to order, and also the shipping speed, so the description is going to be a good place, and the description and photos are mainly what the customer is going to be looking at. Like the title and tags and stuff is more for the search. So you want to have good photos, like all 10, and a video that accurately show like all sides of the product, and so you can tell how big it is. Because people want to know, like if I'm looking for something on Etsy or whatever website, if I can't tell how big it is, or like if it's going to work for me, then I'm not going to buy it, obviously. I'm not going to just stab in the dark and see if it's going to be what works. So then your conversion rate also, like I mentioned earlier, has a little bit less of an impact, but whether or not your sections are all filled out and there's things for them to look at, and also having a lot of listings, because the more time somebody spends on your shop, the more likely they are to buy something. And then how easy the thing is to buy. So in every listing, especially if you do customized things, I would put a how to order section. Even if you don't do customized or personalized things, maybe put like a how to order, because during the holidays especially, a lot of people are going to be coming to Etsy that have never shopped on Etsy before. So they may not understand like how Etsy works. Like for example, I've seen on like other people's shops, if I just browse their reviews, like if I'm looking for something to buy, and like they get reviews saying like basically they're angry at Etsy for the shipping. So it's like the customer doesn't understand that it's this person individually shipping the item. It's not like the Etsy warehouse or whatever, because it doesn't exist. And then the shipping speed, again, it's going to be crucial around the holidays, but if you're international or shipping internationally, then it may be a bit tricky to get that time down. And I would definitely, like, toward the middle of November, sometime around November, maybe the beginning of December, all of the major shipping carriers will put out their cutoff dates for Christmas delivery. So when they put out those estimated cutoff dates for the delivery, I would put like in your shop announcement that such and such date is the last day, and like extend that, because if you have personalized things, obviously you're not going to be able to take an order on the last day and then get it made and shipped out on the last day to ship before Christmas. So add however many days you need for processing onto that time period. So for example, I don't know what day it's going to be this year, but if it's like the 20th and your products take up to 3 days, I would make it the 17th, for example. It's probably not going to be the 20th this year. It's probably going to be like the 15th, because stuff is backed up. And the shipping cost as well is a factor. They don't have the free shipping guarantee because they're not in the US. They don't have to. Well, you don't have to in the US either, but it's highly encouraged. But that is a decent price. Like I kind of mentioned in the review that like the shipping costs seemed a bit low. Like this is $4.22. To ship to the US from somewhere else, it seems pretty cheap. So I don't know why that is. Maybe it's accurate. I mean, like if I was shipping, the bare minimum for me to ship an order to another country, even with the like pirate ship, like discount shipping thing, the least I've ever paid to ship to another country is $10. So like, I don't know how, maybe this is untracked, in which case Etsy frowns upon, but some countries don't even have tracked shipping whatsoever. So I'm not sure. So for option C review, like I did for this one, I would include a social media overview, like of their social media accounts, and also like new product suggestions. I don't know if I want to include those for the videos where I talk about the reviews. So my suggestion, like the overall like summary, I guess, would be to not try to do everything at once, because they do have 100 listings, which is quite a few. So if you're trying to update SEO and everything on 100 listings, that's going to take a long time. You might get discouraged. And also, like I said, with things that you change SEO on maybe frequently, or if you just changed it and you want to change it again, that could be detrimental. So the first thing that I would work on for their shop would be the Christmas listings, because those are going to get like a lot of traction here over the next month. It's like the ornaments, those stocking tags, possibly like a few of the gift things I would also work on. And what I do suggest for shops that do personalized or heavily customized things is to have some listings that are not personalized, that can just be like made or like ready to ship. They don't have to worry about working on them. You can just make some up, and then if somebody buys it, you can get it out, so that way your processing time is faster. Looks like they've done that with a few things. Like you can get some of the stuff just plain without customization. And these are good here too. I didn't notice this before. I think these are new. Maybe I don't remember seeing them before, but it's Our First Christmas as Mr. and Mrs. and it has the date. That is a pretty good one that doesn't necessarily have to be customized. Like it can just be like somebody can grab that as a gift, and you can have a few of those made up like ready to go. So overall, this shop is really great. Like there's a lot of good things going. Like the photos are great quality. This, like the whole idea of like all of the personalized things, like people know that they could go to this shop to get something personalized, and if they buy something for a gift one year and they want something for somebody else the next year, or whatever the case is, they know that this shop is going to be a place that they can go to get their personalized things like all in one place, which sometimes I would be careful of that, having too many different things, but it kind of works in this situation where you have a bunch of different things that people would personalize for gifts, because gifts on Etsy are huge. So like anything you have that's giftable is going to be huge over the next few months. I can definitely tell that she put a lot of work into this shop, like getting the stuff made and getting it ready. Like just the photo quality is great. Like I don't know how she got those such good photos of things, but I'm quite impressed. And her social media is like that too. So she may just have like really good lighting in her house or something. I'm not sure. I'm forgetting to mention things. So she does have the request custom order, which is good. I don't have this on for my shop because I don't do personalized or custom things, but if you do, I would definitely have that on. And then the sales, you cannot see what she has sold, which I do recommend to turn that off to where people can't see what you've sold, because it kind of, like for me personally, kind of became a problem. People were asking for things I didn't carry anymore or didn't make anymore, so I just turned it off. And competitors can see what you've sold a lot of and then try to copy that, so that's another reason to turn it off. That was it for the review of Shand Creations Etsy shop. Let me know if you have any suggestions for her or any questions about anything that I talked about. There's a bit more things that are included in the full review, especially because this was a review option C, like I talked about at the beginning of the video. Basically what I talked about here was more of like option A and B. So there's some things in the C option that I didn't include. So if you want to get a review for your shop, the link is in the description and in the pinned comment on my Ko-Fi shop. And keep watching this channel for more reviews. I'll post these periodically as people allow me to share theirs. If you purchase a review, like I said at the beginning, you don't have to give me permission to share it on YouTube. If you say no, I won't share it, but just if you want to, and that would help other people to see like what the reviews are like or things they could do for their shop, because basically anything that I talked about in this video would apply to any shop. It's just good to see like practical examples instead of me just telling you things. For more Etsy tips, you can follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Type9Studio and Ko-Fi at Type9Studio as well. And I will see you in the next video and in the comments. Goodbye.